good. And let me please introduce your last competing comedian for tonight. Start clapping from that side, please. And go crazy in the middle. Orgasms on the left, please. John Peter!
Anyone else remember that Colette song? You Can Ring My Bell? I'm probably the oldest person in the room. I might be the only one that can remember it. But I'm also so old that my support crew I brought along was my business networking group. Jumped on a bus from Coolangatta and came down to support me, so thank you for that. If anyone needs any good tradespeople or business people, see them afterwards. Time hasn't started, by the way, because I haven't timed this. I've got no idea how long it's going to go. If the lights go on, we'll just leave. I just want to test something out because the networkers are here and because it's a bit of an ego trip for me. If I said to you guys, the Chem in ChemDry stands for...
Chemistry!
Fantastic, thank you so much. Righto, start the clock, Rudy. I've been doing a bit of travelling just recently, and one thing that has occurred to me in all these travels that I've taken is that travelling with young children is difficult.
So tactful.
I mean, how do we put this? I don't have any myself, but believe me when I tell you that travelling with young children, probably your young children, is difficult. And I'm a troubled individual in so many ways, but what troubles me most this evening is the person that said once, getting there is half the fun. I'll go out on a bit of a limb, and I'll say to you that the person that said that had some pretty shit holidays in his time. Because, and you know, I'm not an expert, but I claim to be. The reason I say that is because getting there is often very little fun. Getting there is sometimes no fun at all. You imagine dragging your lightweight Samsonite over those little bumps they've got for the blind people at the top of escalators. That's no fun. Airport coffee, that's no fun. The nervous flyers who stink out the toilet at the departures lounge with their nervous pre-flight poos. Absolutely and categorically no fun whatsoever. But I do travel a bit, and I had a couple of weeks ago I had to go to Melbourne. Now, I love Melbourne, but in keeping with tradition, I decided that I would have all my fun once I got there. So I decided that I would fly from Ballina Airport, and John's talking. I decided that I would fly from Ballina Airport, and the reason I did that was because I love the inconvenience of it all. Because nothing says to me, spend a full day travelling on a 2-hour flight than an 11:10 a.m. departure. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but they call it Ballina Byron Gateway Airport. Now, we know that it's as much Byron Bay as North Byron Parklands, where they have Splendour, in so much as it's not Byron Bay at all. It confuses me at times because someone I think needs to tell the good people of Ballina that having one Airbnb within walking distance of the RSL does not Byron Bay make. I always think about the newly arrived people getting off the plane who imagine that they're going to just go into the arrivals hall and just ring an Uber. Only to realise that the Uber guy is having his hair cut and he might be a little while. If you've ever wondered what the plural of Uber is, now's the perfect time to start considering it, because in Ballina there's only one. So anyway, I was sat at Byron Ballina Ballina, Byron. I was sat at the airport in Ballina, and I was sat at gate 2, or as I like to call it, departures. They have 3 gates at Ballina. Gate 1, very clearly arrivals. That's people coming in. Gate 2, where I was, departures. We're waiting to go somewhere. Gate 3, I don't know. Don't think the staff really know. Maybe the staff room's at the other end of it. Maybe that's what gate 3. Anyway, they've got gate 3 if they ever need it. It's there. Right? 3 flights a day, 3 gates. Makes sense. So I'm sat at gate 2, departures. And we hear those fateful words come over the PA, the public address system. Now, it's a sound that you never want to hear when you're at the airport waiting to fly somewhere. Because it fills people with terror, these words. The announcement comes over the PA. Ladies and gentlemen, Jetstar regrets to inform passengers. Now, at this point, I'm beginning to think that I'm in some form of really shit flash mob. And I've missed rehearsals, but I've managed to pull it all together because the passenger collective, as we're now calling them, the passenger collective, as a collective, has all gone, oh, for fuck's sake. But they did this in a whisper. But because all of us did it at the same time, it was so loud. We couldn't hear the rest of the announcement. So no one knew why Jetstar regretted to inform passengers. I asked the bloke next to me, but he'd been asleep and his hearing aid was turned down. And I don't know. It's just the case that one time, we found out eventually that we had to ask around. We were all speculating as to why we were going to be delayed. And we found out from a very helpful young lady that a bird had hit the plane on its way into Ballina. Not only had a bird hit the plane on its way into Ballina, but they had to get an engineer down from the Gold Coast to check if the plane was okay. So let it settle for a second. They had to check if the plane was okay. Now, I'm not a zoologist by any stretch of the imagination, but in the great plane v bird debacle of 2018, it's going to go much longer than a minute. In the great bird v plane debacle of 2018, if the plane is not okay in that situation, are we entirely certain we want to get on the plane? Not so sure. If they said to us, listen, birds hit the plane on its way into Ballina, we have to get Bindi Irwin down from Australia Zoo to check if the bird's okay. I'm thinking a bit of overkill, but yeah, procedure's procedure. Come on, Bindi, we'll wait for you. So anyway, we sat there waiting, and let me try and explain the science to you a little bit, because one of the few things I never studied at university was aeronautical engineering. But if we imagine that this almond is the bird, right? And imagine that I'm the plane. Okay, so in fairness, probably more of an Airbus than a 737. Here's the bird. The bird's flapping around, and fuck knows what the bird's doing at 30,000 feet. Probably an ibis. Bit stupid. Anyway, the bird's flapping around, and says, oh, look at that big fucker. I'm going to fly into that. Now, experience tells me, don't eat almonds with a dry mouth. Experience also tells me that in the great bird v plane debacle of 2018, plane's okay. Might be the odd feather, bit of pocket fluff. The bird's fucked. Just so we're clear, bird's fucked. Plane's okay. Anyway, trying to wrap this up. Eventually, apparently, the engineer got there. Now no one saw him. I reckon he's pulled into the car park, stuck his thumb out the window, and gone something like, "She's good. Get on, you fuckers, you're going to Melbourne." And we did.